In the name of Jesus, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me in judgment thou shalt condemn. Lord, give me a sign, for this is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and the righteousness is of me, said the Lord. Amen. Lord, give me a sign. I really need to talk to you, Lord. Since the last time we talked, the walk has been hard. Now I know you haven't left me, but I feel like I'm alone. Yeah, I'm a big boy now, but I'm still not grown, and I'm still going through it. Pain and the hurt, yeah, soaking up trouble like rain in the dirt. Yeah, and I know only I can stop the rain with just a mention of my Savior's name. In the name of Jesus, devil, I rebuke you for what I go through and trying to make me do what I used to. But all that stops right here. Yeah, as long as the Lord's in my life, I will have no fear. I will know no pain from the light to the dark. I will show no shame, spit it right from the heart. Cause it's right from the start. You held me down, and nothing they can tell me now. Lord, give me a sign. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I'm gonna find. It's all the time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to reach the blind. Lord, give me a sign. Show me what I got to do to bring me closer to you. Cause I'ma go do whatever you want me to. Just let me know what to do. Lord, give me a sign. Please show me something. I'm tired of talking to him, knowing he frontin'. Cry about that ain't nothing. But you either be the one mad as you trap or the one cutting. Trapped in your own mind, waiting on the Lord. Hunting with the word that cuts like a sword. The spoken word is stronger than the strongest man. Carries the whole world in the strongest hand. The trial and tribulations, you never let us down, Jesus. I know you're here with us now, Jesus. I know you're still with us now. Keep it real with us now. I wanna feel, show me how. Please let me take your hand, guide me. I walk slow, but stay right beside me. Devil trying to find me, hide me. Hold up, I take that back. Protect me and give me the strength to fight. Give me a sign. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I'm gonna find. It's all the time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to reach the blind. Lord, give me a sign. Show me what I got to do to bring me closer to you. Cause I'm gonna go through whatever you want me to. Just let me know what to do. Lord, give me a sign.
How you doing, my brothers? I'm about to start pretty soon, man. Just be a little bit patient with me. Uh, Today's stream, I think it's gonna be a real powerful stream because we're gonna talk about the sign of the times and the times we are living in within this government, and really go ahead and talk about what's the plans that's gonna happen. So, um, I hope you brothers really enjoy this. So I'm going to bring a special guest on today, uh, a brother who hold no punches, a brother who tell you what it is, whether you like it or not. He just tell you the truth, man, because we really is living in the sign of the times. And I want you brothers to understand that and really understand that they are planning something sinister, and what they are planning is not good for us as humanity, for humanity as a human race. So you brothers gonna have to understand that we are living in the sign of times. And I hope you brothers understand that like I do. Um, I'm going to be bringing the brother on shortly. He's going to tell you what it is. No matter what. no matter if you love it or hate it, man, because we are living in the sign of the times. My brothers, we are living in Hunger Games, and it's coming to that time. What they got planned for us is no good. And I played the song by my brother DMX. Rest in peace to that brother. He was dealing with his own struggles in life, man. I truly believe the industry got him, and that's why he was trying to get closer to God because he was in a hellish environment. And hellish environment was not peaceful, man. And he was trying to find his way out. So he had to get closer to God, man. He definitely had to, by any means necessary, man. The brother should be coming on shortly. But before he come on, it's going to talk to y'all briefly on what we got in store on this video, man. Reality is, man, when I say it's the Hunger Games, we are living in the Hunger Games. And these stimulus checks, anybody in the stream even know or understand that these stimulus checks, man, they didn't give you a stimulus check to be nice. When have the government ever done something for us as a people? You gotta really think about that. When have they ever just gave out money just to give out money willy-nilly without knowing that they have something planned that is very sinister? And this brother who's going to be coming on to this panel today will be going into details, man, about that. He, like he told me when we talked over the phone, he said it is over, brother. You just don't know the time, the date, or the hour, or the month, or the year, but trust and believe it is over. And so, man, I'm excited to get him on because as he explained it, it made so much sense to me. Because I always thought in the back of my head because I never really uh understood it. But man, I finally got to what he was talking about when he explained it to me, man. It made so much sense, brother. Because he was right. Hit the nail on the coffin, man. He was right, man. And so the things that's coming, I don't think a lot of us really prepping or prepared or using that money to really prepare for what's going to happen. Kind of think he's in. All righty. My brother, my brother, my brother. How you doing, my brother? I call him Doc, but he go by the name of Monk. It's a Midtown Monk, but I call him Doc, man. He's gonna give you this truth, this gospel. How you doing, my brother? Introduce yourself.
Every day's a holiday and every meal's a banquet, man. What's going on?
What's going on, my brother, man? Tell us, let's talk about it today, man. Let's get straight to it. I want to talk to you about the times we are in because we are living in the signs of the times, but it is very troublesome because the last time we talked, you was telling me about these stimulus checks, my brother, and how the game is rigged and it's also over. We just don't recognize it yet. Go ahead and explain it, my brother, and tell us what is to come.
Before I start, first of all, I want to make sure I show deep respect to you for not only the broadcast, but at the same time being consistent. And I know how much you care about other people, so I want to make sure I throw a shout out to you about that. Next thing I want to do is I want to know just how deep down the rabbit hole you want to take your audience, because at the same time, now you and I have talked and you know how deep I'll go down, but you may or may not want your audience to go that far down. It's up to you, sir, by your command.
Brother, I want you to go as deeper as possible. You know, my channel never held no punches. And anybody who followed me in this chat room today, any brother, they understand that I do not hold no punches in this channel. I come, I tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. You can go as deep as possible, my brother.
Well, as you had mentioned the other day, sir, there's got to be with these in air quotes stimulus checks they have, and the government, as you said, doesn't do anything without having not only a motive, but I dare say multiple motives. And the fact is, we can let's start with the fact that they have created trillions upon trillions of so-called dollars out of thin air. Well, that's wonderful. It's magical. Yay, yay, yippee-ki-yay. Except the fact is, there's a reckoning to do that. And by creating this quote unquote money out of thin air that has absolutely no value but your personal belief. And so when that belief deteriorates even further than it already has, and people recognize they have nothing, there's going to be pandemonium and confusion.
Man.
Now, let's say you get your magical $2,000, $1,400, whatever, and you take that money and put it in. Let's say I don't know what y'all's United States money. Let's say it buys a big screen TV, or you take some whore out to get something to eat or whatever. And you had a smile on your face. But on the other hand, let's say you take that same money and stick it in a bank account somewhere. I mean, because you're really being responsible. You say, I'm not going to spend this money on some slut. I'm going to put it in the bank. Okay, I respect that.
Right.
Or let's say that you're even smarter and say, I'm going to put this in my wall, underneath the bed, whatever, because I know the banks could fold. I mean, so you're coming at different angles, but whatever. When the government either pushes the button that says, because they're passing all this money. Now remember, out of those trillions over the last 12 months, trillions that have been created out of nothing. Remember, probably less than 0.5% has gone into the people's pocket. That other 99.5% has gone everywhere else. Let's just say that. And when people recognize that and they push the button, which they are, and people just say, I have no more belief in it. And I mean by that, I mean wherever the money is supposed to go, then McDonald's is not going to take money. Walmart's not going to take that money. Your buddy down the street's not going to take this. And that has no value to me. And you're going to be stuck with it. And so what you and I had talked about is, do we take this quote unquote stimulus money and stimulate a false economy? Or do we take whatever you call it, money, currency, whatever you want to call it, and invest it in ourselves before it becomes worthless? And that's a question. I'm going to be quiet and let you talk, sir. Go ahead.
Well, I feel as though you're making a lot of sense. You know, most of us people are and putting it in Bitcoin, trying to invest in the economy, and we believe, well, we preparing for the future. But it's like what you were saying. What they got planned is, it makes a lot of sense. When I talk to you, how are they going to get the planet reduced to 500,000? How are they going to reduce the planet to that low of a number? Reduce the planet to that low of a number, but not dropping bombs on the people, but having the people attack each other. It's like you say, people go without food for 4 to 5 days, man. They're going to turn into the other side of what human beings are when it comes to survival. And It's like one thing you said to me when they push the button, when the system stops, that's when feminism stops. And it made a lot of sense because they give you this money. It may be sadistic. It's like it's a weird, funny game. I'm gonna give you this money to quote unquote stimulate the economy, but in reality, I'm giving you this money on the back end to really tell you you need to prepare to stock up some food. Because if you ain't stocking up food, you're gonna be in trouble in the next few years of what they got planned. It could be a year, it could be a month from now, who knows? But they've been planning this for a long time. I don't believe this quote unquote pandemic. It's a plan for a reason. And also it's a plan, but also you gotta understand they've been doing this for years. This ain't no coincidence. This is what they've been planning for years. And we are the sheep waiting to get sent to the slaughterhouse because when they push the button, there ain't gonna be nothing left. Because all this money invested and everything, they're gonna stop everything because they control the system. Ain't nowhere to run or hide. The coronavirus is affecting every country. Everybody in the world has to take the vaccination. That's what they got. They got these vaccination clinics everywhere. I don't give a damn if you're in Colombia. I don't give a damn what country you in, Thailand, Philippines. Everybody got to take this vaccination. So if everybody control, that means there's no really independent government around. So it seemed like they ran by a source. And what is that source, brother? That that you feel as though running everything in the system, brother Doc?
Well, that's really it's a great question. Probably no one fully knows the answer except the puppet masters at the top, because again, it's wrapped up in so many different layers like an onion. But the fact of the matter, what little bit they let us know about is this: they keep our minds so distracted on whores and dope and food and war and Beyonce and whatever. And they keep our minds so distracted on this base. I mean, you even use the word feminism. And again, as it said, as you just said, when electricity goes out, RPM is where I first heard of that. But when the electricity goes out, feminism goes right out with it. But remember, they're the ones. See, they understand our nature. They understand whore's nature, and so they understand that if you give them an inch, they are going to take a mile. So that feminism thing, they empowered it, but they use it to distract us from all the foolishness and devilment that they do perpetrate against all of us. Like I said, united we stand, divided you're dead.
Man, that's so true, man. That is so true. And you said something in particular. You was talking about prepping, and I also want to get into that, man. You was talking about prepping for food and water when things get hit the fan. And you was talking about people are not really being prepared. They kind of living life day by day like nothing's going to happen. And I really want to get into that with you, brother, if if possible.
Well, let's see what we can do. First of all, again, most of us are walking around like everything's A-OK, and it's not. Walking around with our eyes wide open, I mean, bugged wide open, scared, that's not going to help but walking around pimp walking like everything's okay, that's not going to help either. And what they had, that word, that terminology, prepping, some of your listeners and might know what it is. Some might not. Some who may think they know what it is, who don't. But that comes with being prepared. And as a great prophet once said, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear. And fear, as in the movie Dune said, fear is the mind killer. And so what has to be done is, a lot of people think, well, if I got a couple of bags of beans and a couple of bottles of water and a flashlight with an old used up battery, I'm good. And I beg to differ. That's not prepping. That's nothing. In my opinion, and the bare minimum for a man by himself is 6 months of food and water and energy and ammunition and things to do with that ammunition and all those things. That's for a man by himself, not having sons to take care of, or for heaven's sakes, daughters, nothing like that. Just a man by himself. And if you have a family to take care of, everything changes in terms of the time, the amount of stuff. You married and or let's say, heaven forbid, you got some whore girlfriend and you feel responsible for her. And she's still breedable. That's what starts with the letter B. She's still breedable. Do you understand, if shit hits the fan and you can't run down to the Walmart or the CVC or whatever, do you understand how stinky, smelly, nasty this whore is that you're going to have to deal with? Let alone her attitude. It's going to get worse. And they're rotten anyways, and they rot from the inside out. Do you have any idea what you're going to be living with? And that demon that you're living, that you barely dealing with, do you understand when the so-called comforts that men bring to the table, when those things fall apart, it's not going to be. And if you, as a single man, have saying, well, I'm gonna listen to the monk. I'm gonna get my 6 months. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do an extra month. I'm gonna have 7 months of food and water and an ability to clean water, because it's hard to, and especially if you don't have a large area, you have an apartment or something. Keeping 7 months or a year of water, it takes up a lot of space. But you have a filter that can clean water, and it's got to have enough filters, and it can't be an electric filter, and it can't be a gravity fed filter, because you're dependent on water coming out this faucet. When the electricity goes out, that water's over. I mean, it'll last for a minute, but once people use up the water in that big tank in town, it's no more pumps that can pump it back up there for gravity fed. So but you say, but hey, I got my filters. I got my filters. I got extra filters. I got my, I got my water. I got my food. Man, shoot, I'm good. And then the slut next door down the street knocks on the door and say, honey, I got this wet ass pussy. You can have it. Just, let me come in, and whenever you want to hit it, I'll hit it. And but she gonna eat all your food up, drink all your water, and still do some dumb stuff, and then invite her and crackhead cousin over.
Preaching, man.
So I've said a lot of stuff, and each thing I said, you could talk about it for 4 or 5 hours. But just giving you a taste of it, because you brought up the prepping, and so you wanted to go there. But it's complicated because we're as men, we're compassionate for other people, and once you show some compassion, neighbor comes over. Could you help me out? My daughter, she needs something, and once they know you got a little something extra, and you give it to them, well, just like anybody who's on welfare, they don't deserve nothing. But once you give them something, they think it's a right. And where's my check? Where's my free? Where's my housing? Where I want this. Once a person who's used to a handout, and that's a woman, a man, or anything, is used to handouts, and you give it to them one time, they think it's their right. And if you don't, next time, well, I know you got something here because you gave me something yesterday. Well, I ain't got no extra. Then you're no good, and they can justify killing you. So it's complicated, sir.
One thing you said that was very powerful. You said that it's gonna come a time when you can't go to a Walmart no more. It's gonna come a time where if you prepping and you got 6 months to a year supply and you got guns and ammunition, you said that this is gonna come a time of it's only a matter of time before you go to sleep. It's gonna come a time when that person knock on your door, you're gonna have to make a decision whether you're gonna live or that person gonna die. And I felt like that was powerful because people don't really understand how much we do depend on the system, man. And once it stops, humans go back to being animals, man, being in the wild in nature.
Very, very quick. As they say, they already know that, we know that the average person, wilding person, especially when you go into these lower income places, when you're dealing with lower income people, in just hours, they're thinking it's their right to riot. They think it's their right to loot and steal, knock somebody in the head and take their stuff. They think it's a right. It's not a right, but they've been used to being given stuff all their life. They've been raised by a single mother, and so they don't care. That's number one. That happens almost instantaneous if they have any feelings that things are going to be a little rough for a minute or two. You can take a look at states like Washington and Oregon, and the people that are Marxist, communist, feminists. That's all the same thing. Most of them raised by single mothers. Then the fact is, they think it's a right to go in and destroy and tear up somebody's business or break out city windows and go in and light fires. They think it's their right to do something as evil and psychotic as it is, and that you have to deal with that. On the other hand, if it gets much past 3 to 4 days, then not only have they already looted all the easy places, but now they're going to start coming. If you're still in a city, if you live in a large city, even a small city, especially if you have a lot of low income people, then they're going to start coming after you within less than a week, and they think it's a right. I have a right to take your stuff. Shoot, there's people now that feel that they have a right to take your stuff. If you just go to work, they think it's their right to take your shit. Okay, so and so after 4 to 7 days, especially low incomers, they don't just think it; they know it. I'm gonna survive, and so, and then we know that after that 7 to 12 days, a big chunk of the population, if the electricity is out, then we know that a very large percentage of people in the United States are going to die. That first week, 2 weeks, the people they have insulin. There's no electricity to keep their drugs cool. people on oxygen, people they got no food, people who were weak, disabled, people are, like I said, especially your low incomers, people raised by single moms, they're going to take advantage of them. They think it's their right, you know, survival of the fittest, they call it. And so a big chunk of Americans are dead, especially if they live in a city. Then the ones that we, you know, as we talked about it, then the organized thugs, gang members, again, most of them raised by single mothers, low income, they think they have a right, but they're organized. They're the most dangerous. But that first week or two, even if they're not in a gang, they're still very dangerous. I got to get my daughter, she needs food. I got to do whatever I got to do. Okay. So you have to stay away from everybody. But as I said, and as you mentioned just now, you can only stay awake for so long.
Man.
And all these people that got these gangs and everything, they, you know, you can't. So unless you are in a group, in your own gang, so to speak, now you might not be in a low income satanic gang, but unless you have people around, like-minded people that have morals that will protect each other, and then you're going to be outnumbered. You're going to be out. You can't maintain vigilance 24/7. You can't do it. You have to be. And so even though these gang members are satanic, and you say, well, why won't God smite them? Well, you know, I can't talk about that. That's up to God, whatever you believe God is. But God, at the time, God's going to allow them to smite you if you're not prepared. And so, therefore, if you're not paying attention, and if you haven't already built up a clan, then you're probably dead, sir.
You're right. You're right, because if you ain't got nobody that's going to be with you, man, it's going to matter of time for you sleeping. People who organize, there's going to have people sleeping, and they're going to have people guarding. And so the people who are going to be going out looting for food, they're going to be busting through people's houses, man. And this what I believe. Matter of fact, this is what I know what they have planned, man. The New World Order is order out of chaos. Where's the chaos going to come from? The order out of chaos going to come from us. From killing each other when they shut the whole system down. People think there's money. Oh man, I'm preparing for the future. It's tough to say, brother, but what future? So they giving you what they doing? What you call those, the blue pills? When you get the blue pills to put you to sleep, they giving you blue pills with these stimulus checks. But are you smart enough to use it the right way? Or are you dumb enough to do what majority of the population doing? Buying shit up, putting money away. I'm invested. You investing in what?
And that's why I respect to you, because you're willing to tackle this extremely complicated and, dare say, scary concept. And you're willing, as a brother, as a young brother, you're willing to tackle that. So again, you deserve props, brother.
Man, you woke me up, man, because I was thinking this. I was like, in back of my head, when we first got these stimulus checks, I was like, I ain't never in my life of living, and I'm pretty sure in your life of living too, because you're an older gentleman, have the government ever gave you shit for nothing?
Nobody gives you shit for nothing. Nobody. Everybody has. They have what you call a ulterior motive, especially the government. Even when they give out so-called, to these low incomers, they give them free food.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, You don't even know if it has been contaminated or not on purpose. You don't know if it hasn't been contaminated. Well, they got people thinking, especially again, you hear me dwelling on the concept of low income people because I'm trying to use nice words. But they got low income people thinking that the government cares about them, going to take care of them forever. And I'm sorry to say, not only is it not that way, is it? Well, I've been getting a WIC, and Mama been getting food stamps, and the church preacher been bringing over Christmas toys since I was been born. Well, I understand, but it's not going to be forever. Well, I'm 22 years old, and it's been forever for me. Well, I understand, but if you look around, they're getting ready to shut this mother down. And if you've been confused, even people who put back gold and silver, and I recommend that up to a point, but truly, when what they call the end of the world as we know it, that's different from shit hit the fan. Right now, we're kind of in SHI, the shit hit the fan. And one calls it shit hit the fan light, and because it could be shit hit the fan deep. And so we're kind of light. We can still go to the Piggly Wiggly and buy some stuff. We can still go online and order for Amazon. Now, if you go to Walmart and try and order, they won't let you order but one package of toilet paper. So
really?
Me, it's changing. Times change. When it's a year ago when this first started, they would let you order four packages of toilet paper. A year later, has it got better? A year later, you can only order one package of toilet paper. They know it's worse, but most people think everything all right. I's got my check. I's got my check. Well, they think everything's all right, but people in the know, it ain't all right. And so even though I recommend person putting some gold and silver away, but when the what they call end of the world as we know it, not that the world blew up and completely gone, but the end of the world as we know it. I mean, electricity is not just out for a few months or maybe a year. And trust me, very few people in the Western world will survive. Some gang members, but most of them will kill each other off too, thank goodness. But the end of the world as we know it, when electricity is not going to come back on for 10, 15 years, maybe never, where you are. When that happens, gold and silver will have no value. People will say, hey man, I got silver here, some gold here. I say, I can't do nothing with that. You can barter, but I'll take some seeds, or I'll take some of them tools, but I can't do nothing with no gold and silver. I need something that I can stay alive with. Gold and silver ain't gonna keep me alive. So I'm just saying, you have to understand all these different facts. They can say, you sound awfully negative, Monk. I'm not trying to sound negative. I'm just giving you some possibilities. I could really get negative. I could tell you what's getting ready to happen, really getting ready to happen. But as one guy said on the movie, you can't handle the truth. So I'm just giving you some possibilities and saying, hey, why don't you get your ass together and start to prepare for some possibilities. And one thing is, you will never be able to prepare for all the possibilities. You'll drive yourself crazy. But one of the main things you can do is get away from the crazy MFs.
Man, that is so cool. And check this out. They just had a police killing, another black brother got killed, and they did the looting. Now think about this: when this looting stuff happens, they destroy all these Walmarts and all these business. You remember when the George Floyd thing happened, right? All these businesses was destroyed, and people, it was really bad. Even the pandemic, man. I remember when I went to the store. I kind of got a video. I do have a video up showing the grocery stores when they didn't have no toilet paper. When they didn't have no toilet paper, the waters was gone. I'm talking about, man, if you wasn't there in time, they wasn't really shipping things like that. So people who didn't have water, man, they didn't have water. People who didn't have toilet paper, didn't have toilet paper, man. Even the formula for the babies was low. So you look how people was acting. That was soft. That was a test. That was like we testing the waters, because people say,
yeah, that was a test.
That was a test. And you keep hearing people say, "Oh, the pandemic's gonna be over pretty soon." Where is the sermons where it's ended soon? They work too hard to do this.
Yeah.
They work.
Well, you're right. Not only to start out with that it was I'm not sure if you're pixelating or not, but it was a test to just see how we react and how far we'd go. But the game is, the Bill Gates societies, all the people who you think is your friend, when they decide to really unleash the diseases that they've got planned for you. And people, let's defund police and let's do this. You ain't got to defund the police when they release that stuff, because ain't no police coming out. In a lot of these lower class neighborhoods, they barely come out now.
Man,
but they ain't gonna come out because they busy trying to protect their own family. So they ain't nobody cutting no checks. So, if they did, they know the money ain't got no value. Ain't no bank open. So if you're not prepared, you're dead.
Man, it's just that simple.
And they know it. And people are going to start. No, go ahead, please.
No, I was just saying you absolutely right about that. People are gonna die, man. It's really ain't no sugarcoating it, especially at this point. The climate. I mean, look at the world right now. It don't look like it's getting any better. It look like they planning for the worst. And you remember what they said? This is like the first wave. Isn't it the first wave? They was talking about the second wave. The second wave haven't even hit yet. This is what they talking about. So, I mean, whatever they have planned, if you ain't prepared, you're gonna suffer dearly, man. Gonna suffer. Y'all hear my brother?
Well, the last thing you want, and I know this is not your intent, but the last thing I know you want to do, Brother MGTOW, is to cause people to be fearful. You're trying to get be ahead of the curve, and that's why I give props to you, is because you're trying to help the ones. They say, for those who have ears, let them hear. For those who have eyes, let them see. So you're attempting to let the ones who want to hear and want to see, to give them a heads up. And now there are going to be a lot of people, even let's see, what is this? This is United States on a Thursday, or Tuesday, so, there's a lot of people thinking about, man, I sure hope I can get some WAP, some old nasty, diseased, pus-filled WAP tonight. And they're not even focusing on their survival. And then when time comes, they're going to be one of the first ones to want to knock you in the head and take your shit. So if you let them, well, it's the truth. Sorry.
It's the truth.
And if you let them live, that's on you. They don't deserve to live. They busy getting their WAP, busy getting their wine. They happy, happy, black and nappy. That's good. Yay, wonderful. But they don't deserve to survive. They don't deserve to hit you in the head and take your shit. So if you let them, it's on you.
It's on you.
So all I'm saying is very few people, especially in the lower income strata, very few of them are going to survive. They're going to cause a lot of mischief. They're going to do a lot of damage. You know, Black Lives Matter. Have you noticed it's almost all white people in Black Lives Matter? You know,
Yeah.
have you noticed that the Black Lives, what one of those lesbian women, she just bought close to a $2 million house in a white neighborhood. She really cares about Black Lives Matter, right? People falling for
I
all
saw
this
that, man.
crazy.
It ran game.
So,
It was game,
I don't
man.
blame her. I don't blame her. I don't want to live around a bunch of old low income maggots either. So I mean, you know, but I'm just saying she ain't concerned about that. She ain't concerned about no Black Lives Matter. She getting her bag, you know, and they all are, and they getting ready to find all of them getting their bag. All them lesbians, they getting their bag. So I'm just trying to tell you, you know, I'm just saying, life ain't what we've been told, and that's okay. But once you start finding out the truth and start getting red pill knowledge, not just about females, you know, yeah, well, they're demons. Well, yeah, but that's the way God made them. But once you start getting the red pill knowledge about life, and that we've all, as men, we've been lied to, and as Black men, they have sorely lied to us. And so as you start peeling that onion back and start getting to the truth, it's very uncomfortable, but it still comes down to survival. And you can choose to play games, or you can choose to get your shit together, sir.
And that is so true, man. Survival is coming down to that. That's why this stream called the Hunger Games. And it is a game. And I say it's a game because they playing this shit for a long time, for over 100 years. They've been planning this, man. These people have been planning this for a long time. And this pandemic has been planned. And as human beings don't understand is that how they going to reduce the population instead of getting rid of you with bombs. Why do that with the mess they got to clean up? Why just let you kill each other? Because we all know human nature when it comes to survival,
That's
it's cruel. It's cruel. Your closest friend, if he ain't ate in a couple days, 5 to 10 days. It's this movie, man, I talked to you about. It's called The Platform. Anybody got Netflix, check it out. And it's a movie about they had this platform, I think it's like 100 stages or 56 stages, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if you've seen the movie. But they had this food, this big meal of food, and everybody had to eat it on all 56 platforms. By the time it got to the 10th platform, the food was out. And the guy who was trying to make sure everybody would eat, he grabbed a gun. He was like, I'm going to make sure everybody eat. And when the farther he went down in the platform, he saw human beings eating each other, killing each other, because they ain't ate in days. So they was eating each other. So human nature under stressful environments, under just being hungry, would do anything, man. Would do anything. And them times is coming, man. It's very hard for people to understand, but it's coming. They know when it comes to survival. If we ain't prepared, man, if we ain't planting food, living out, I believe we really were supposed to live out nature anyway. We supposed to be planting food in the first place. We should have been independent from the jump. Men have always been hunters and gatherers and independent men. Men have always been hunters and building and making sure he was always independent, man. But we've been so dependent on the government it's going to take us, it's going to turn us into animals again. And human nature is going to be cruel when it comes to the end of everything. I mean, you're right. If you ain't got a crew of people that you're getting up with and you teaming up with, you ain't gonna make it.
Well, that's why we're talking now.
Exactly.
And again, we're trying to get the information out there for the ones. Again, you got to remember, you even as the MGTOW savior, as you call yourself, you can't save everybody. And the fact is, if you're, in my opinion, this is my opinion, but in my opinion, if you are wise, you will only save or try to save the ones that want to be saved. Remembering that most people don't. Most people will take your shit, they'll steal from you, they'll lie, but they don't really want to be saved. They want free stuff. They want to be given free shit. And if they don't get free shit, they think they're entitled to it. They don't get it. They want to riot. And, they want the government to give them stuff. And they want to steal it from somebody who he got more than me. I have a right to steal it from him. I mean, they need to be, of course, euthanized. And someday they will. They're called the useless eaters. But on the other hand, there are what we call the chosen and elect. And that's who you try to help. When you use all your energy trying to help, trying to save the unsavable, then you get burnt out, and then you get caught up in their crazy karma and you die. But if you go after the people who want to be saved, if the MGTOW savior goes after the ones who want to be saved, and they stick their hand up and go, I'm ready, then you help them. Okay, I'm ready. But the ones that's like, oh yeah, you kind of crazy, man. That stuff, that's negative, man. Look at here tonight. This weekend. The Parliament Funkadelic coming to town. I see. I dated myself, but I don't know what the modern things are. But Beyonce, right, or whatever. Carly B, right? That's some slut, some old nasty slut. But she's up to date. But either way. Well, hey, this weekend I'm gonna buy me some new shoes and get my hair pressed, and I'm gonna take out some cunt. And those people don't deserve to be saved. They don't want to be saved. But the ones that want to be saved, the chosen and elect, you can help them. And I know you will. Just don't burn yourself out trying to help the unhelpable, sir.
That's it. That's it, man. We living in those signs of the times, man. And preparation is the most important thing. And with that being said, they are prepared, and they got underground cities. We also talked about that too. They do have underground cities for what and why, because they are prepared for what they know that's coming, what they have planned, first of all. And we are so stuck on social media and so distracted by all of these things they distracting us with, man. When it all comes down to the end, when they play their game, because they want a new world order and they want to depopulate the planet, order out of chaos. Those people who don't see it coming.
I'm gonna interrupt you, and I'm gonna interrupt you. I don't apologize, but I apologize for getting you stopping in the middle of what you're saying. But why is it, in your opinion, bad to have a new world order? Why is it bad in your mind, since you use both of these, depopulate the planet? Those two things, you said it as if they were negative. I want to know why you feel that taking out the drag, the garbage, and because all it does is it's just useless eaters. They all they do is pollute. They don't do anything for other people, for the planet. They hurt and maim and kill and destroy. Why in your opinion is it bad to take them out? Why is it bad for a new world order? Because the old world order ain't shit. So why is it bad to have a new world order? I'm just asking. I'm listening. Hey, teach me, brother.
Well, my perspective was, man, the reason why I felt like the new order was bad was because what's afterwards, and it's total control on how you live, eat, and every day of life. That was probably what my main issue was. The reason why they wanted to get rid of us was to control us in the first.
Really? Is it?
Talk to me about it. Talk to me.
What about now? You're not under control now. You know, you have to lock your door because of all the scum buckets. Not the rich people knocking on, ain't no rich white people knocking on your gonna steal your shit. That ain't who messing with you.
That's true.
There's a bunch of low income maggots. Now, so teach me, brother. I'm open to be taught, but are they the chosen and elect ain't messing with you? If you're trying to protect and save if you're a part of the chosen and elect, why do you want the scums to survive? They're not going to survive anyway, but they'll try to take you down first before the judgment hits. So why? I'm just asking you. I mean, teach me, brother. Teach me.
You know what? You explaining it the way you're explaining it. The system we have is fucking trash. You're right. The system we have is not only trash, but you got more bastard children in the world that is more angrier. You got Chicago, you got all these inner cities full of gang violence, full of bastard kids, full of angry people that have no love for anybody, that will kill on sight. You are right. We have a dirty society. We have an unmoral society. So why should I care? And you make a lot of sense. Now that you're coming from the perspective that you're coming from, it don't make sense to me. You know what I mean? Because you're right. Let it burn. Because now I had to think about what I was saying. I was like, well, they gonna control people, but look what we're doing. I mean, we ain't making society no better. We have no unity. We don't really give a fuck about each other. We only care about ourselves. I think I saw somebody put self-preservation, and the ones that's in power, they ain't worrying about no self-preservation. They want about working together to control your ass and make sure they maintain power. It's you at the bottom that's self-preservation. And that internally, when things hit the fan, like you were saying, that self-preservation will get real. People will kill each other. They don't have to kill us because we don't give a fuck about each other in the first place. Makes sense.
You can look at us. The majority of us don't even care about our own selves, our own preservation. If we cared about our own self-preservation, then we wouldn't eat the nasty food that they give us. We wouldn't let our enemy feed us. Who in the hell allows their enemy to educate their children? Who in the hell allows their enemy to feed them? Who in the hell allows their enemy to provide jobs, to provide housing? Only somebody who is completely psychotic and satanic would do that. Who in the hell would allow their enemy to protect them? Because their enemy is not going to teach their kids above their kids, and they would be a fool to do that. An enemy is not going to teach somebody, is not going to feed somebody and have them stronger. Well, I'm strong. I can bench press this. What?
You preaching,
I'm
man.
just asking.
You preaching. It makes a
Well,
lot
I'm
of
just
sense.
asking you to teach me.
And you had me think about it. I had to think. I had to like, hold up. I had to second guess what I'm saying. I had to really think about us as human beings, as a human race. We really don't give a fuck about each other. Through all my life of living, I have seen the worst of people and people who claim they care and always turn their back on you for themselves, for their own personal reasons. And you're right, we don't even have that small amount of self-care. And it's a real reality. And it's the reason why when things do get bad, instead of helping and finding a way to work together, we're gonna kill each other because of our own selfish reasons.
Man,
And so it
men.
goes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead, my brother.
No, I was just saying. Look at here. You preaching? You talking about me? You preaching now? Men, all kinds of men, all kinds of colors, all kinds of creeds, but especially our people, they'll kill each other over a nasty, stanky, disease turned out piece of pussy. We'll kill each other over that. So we'll kill each other over some some bacon. People who eat swine. So so if you're close to them kind of swine eater, pork eater, want to put their sacred phallus in a nasty, disease-ridden piece of shit called a pussy, then you know that your enemies, your sworn enemies, they know your weaknesses. They know our weaknesses, all of us. So unless you go MGTOW, you're dead, brother.
That's so true, man. That is so true. And you had me think about that, man. Really understand it, man. My next video that I'm making is gonna blow people away, but it's gonna be talking about the overseas thing. I found out some more information, but I got another brother who's gonna talk about that. He did some research. Man, I think that the reality of the world today with people, when this money came, I heard the guy before I went. I'm finna close it a little bit because I'm running out of time on this thing. But before I close it, it was a guy we talked about. Remember, I told you about this guy who killed his family over the stimulus check because child support took his stimulus check money because they say it was behind. And he killed the whole woman's family, her kids, but left his kid living. And I began to understand that how unhealthy this environment has became, and the reality of what we was talking about earlier today when it came to society, when it collapsed, the morals will be out the window. So the reality of that and understanding that, man, today I don't think people understand. If you put somebody back against the wall long enough, they're not gonna give a fuck whether they live or die. So you have men today who don't care no more. They don't care. You took everything away from him. Now you're dealing with a monster. That's the type of environment you're creating for men now. What do you think gonna happen? Think about this. Think about this society. What do you think gonna happen when women starving and hungry, when things collapse? You think men gonna have that type of sympathy when it comes to survival? Think about that.
Well, if the question is for me, I don't know how much more time we got before it cuts out, but the fact is, blue pill simps. And by the way, if you're in MGTOW, almost 100%, not 100, but almost all MGTOW, because remember, all that means is men going their own way. But almost all MGTOW are what they call recovering simps. Okay, and a lot of people who claim the MGTOW title, they're not even recovering simps. And most of the world of men are not MGTOW. And so they're blue pill simps. And they will kill you. They'll kill you for a like I say, for a bag of peanuts. let alone some stinky, nasty whore. I'm, I need some food. And they'll go, I'll take, baby, I'll fix it, baby. I'm gonna take care of everything. I used to be I'm a recovering simp. I admit it. See, we need to have, that's why you have MGTOW, but we need to have our own, like you have Alcoholics Anonymous or CRs, or we got to have places where men can come and say, I'm a recovering simp. And they're gonna have relapses because we all like WAP until you understand how diseased and nasty it is. But until you do, you think that golden vajiji, you think it's something. And in reality, that's why girls, the women, they think we stupid. Because they know that that thing between their legs is nothing. It's trash. It's stanky and nasty. They have to put all kinds of clean it and put all kinds of perfumes on it and do everything because it's the most filthy, disgusting. And by the way, I like WAP, so don't get it twisted. But they know that, let's not get it twisted. I do. But they know how filthy and nasty it is, and they wrap us around their finger based on this piece of nasty trash. And so they look at us. That's why they think we're stupid. And we'll go and we'll kill another dude over it. And they enjoy the drama. So they know we're stupid. So until you break that addiction, that lust and that hunger for something that's nasty, and break it. So we've got to have places where men can come and talk about this addiction and try to break that addiction. But just like once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic. So it's just take it one day at a time. Once a simp, always a simp. But you can be a recovering simp, but you have to take your red pill one day at a time. Because if not, you're dead.
You dead, man. It is so true, man. I'm gonna close this out, brother. It was beautiful having you on the stream, man. You brothers got to really understand what society is going through, the transitions we're going through, and that hopefully men can actually take this knowledge and apply it to their life and prepare yourself for the real reality we are facing today in this society that they already had planned for hundreds of years. And I think that that's going to help us be well prepared and well prepped for the future collapse of this government. Anything you have to say in closing, my brother?
Again, for ones that come in later, I just want to make sure, give a special shout out to the MGTOW Savior for making these transmissions possible, for being consistent, stand on the air, so to speak, even when we know it's pressure out there for you to stop, pressure out there for you to fall off the wagon and go back. Many good MGTOW men have trying to be better, but we're addicted to WAP, and so they get back, and next thing you know, they're going to jail. They're having all their finances, everything taken from them. You get hung up in that foolishness. So again, thank you for being consistent, for caring about brothers, and people should really appreciate all that you're doing, brother. I do.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, man. This is my passion. You know, I love helping men, brother, and this is why I'm going, man. This is my reason, man. And thank you for being on this stream, brother. And I want to say thank you to all you brothers, man. And y'all have a blessed one, man. All right, brother. Monk, Midtown Monk. All right, brothers, going to be closing this stream, man, and hope you brothers stay blessed. Keep and continue to take your daily dose of red pills and always be prepared for the near collapse in the future that we are preparing to face. All right, my brothers.
Jesus. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And every tongue that rises against me in judgment thou shalt condemn. Lord, give me a sign. For this is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. And the righteousness is of me, said the Lord. Amen. Lord, give me a sign. I really need to talk to you, Lord. Since the last time we talked, the walk has been hard. Now I know you haven't left me, but I feel like I'm alone. Yeah, I'm a big boy now, but I'm still not grown, and I'm still going through it. Pain and a hurt, yeah, soaking up trouble like rain in the dirt. Yeah, and I know. With all that stops right here. Yeah, as long as the Lord's in my life, I will have no fear. I will know no pain from the light to the dark. I will show no shame, spit it right from the heart. Cause right from the start, you held me down, and nothing they can tell me now. Lord, give me a sign. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I'm gonna find. It's all the time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to reach the blind. Lord, give me a sign. Show me what I got to do to bring me closer to you. Cause I'm gonna go do whatever you want me to. Just let me know what to do. Lord, give me a sign. Please show me something. I'm tired of talking to him, knowing he frontin'. Crying about life ain't nothing. You either be the one mad you trapped or the one hiding. Trapped in your own mind, waiting on the Lord. Hunting with the word that cuts like a sword. The spoken word is stronger than the strongest man. Carries the whole world in strongest hands. The trials and tribulations, you never let us down, Jesus. I know you're here with us now, Jesus. I know you're still with us now. Keep it real with us now. On the field, show me how. Please let me take your hand. Guide me. I'll walk slow, but stay right beside me. Devil's trying to find me. Hide me. Hold up, I take that back. Protect me and give me the strength to fight. Give me a sign. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I'm gonna find. It's all the time. Show me how to teach the mind. Show me how to reach the blind.